Fair enough. Okay, so I know I didn't write it down here on the outline, but let's talk about the Anima Weapons.
No, we can't do it.
Well,
no.
Not on the outline.
It's on the outline.
Let's talk about Anima
we
Weapons.
should talk about it.
Because the... what do you guys think of the grind for this step of the Animas?
I want to go first because I like the... It's just weird to me this time. Like, there's just so many ways to get your sand that I kind of feel like overwhelmed because there's so many options. I'm not sure like what the quote best way to do it is.
You just do everything.
And yeah, that's the thing. You just do everything. So
it doesn't lock you into a patch.
So now I feel like I don't really, since there's no like one clear path, that I'm just like, well, I just, what do I do? I just guess I don't do anything.
The clearest path is the fact that you need stuff from esoterics 100% every time, and you also can get stuff from poetics. So doing all of your roulettes is worth it every time. So that's the clearest path.
That is true, yeah. But it also makes use of things like elegant catalysts that...
Even crafting scripts.
Crafting scripts.
Shitty elemental materials.
Elemental materia, yeah.
Shit that was like... 200 gil before the patch.
Well, that's
suddenly 500k.
I feel like they looked at a lot of harder to get specific drops. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing that guarantees that you're going to get a Fire 4 materia out of converting a piece. You know what I mean? So they took some stuff that doesn't sell well, but is not the easiest to get. Elegant Catalyst got to come. You've got to do Crystal Tower for those. Like that. All of that is. It's sold for almost nothing, and I feel like they just read the market boards and was like, oh, what sells like shit? Let's give it value.
Pretty much.
Artificial value. I mean, that I think is the thing that kind of bugs me, is that it just artificially inflates the value, and then they become purposeless again once everyone moves off of the step.
So make your money now.
That's true. I mean, it really is just for people who capitalize on markets like that.
Do you, Nika, do you feel like the grind is long enough? Because I have like really no concept of how long this grind is.
It's hard to tell.
So
I feel
disconnected.
Yeah, okay. So I'm trying to think. Like the original 80 items grind the last time around, like I feel like that took me a long time, but I did it very casually. Like I didn't purposefully go out of my way at all. Maybe I did 10 rounds of Alexander for one item. Otherwise, I didn't go out of my way at all, and I managed to get it done before the next update to the relic. This one, it felt really long at first because I'm like, oh man, you like have to get so many of these things for each upgrade. But then again, every time you turn one in, you actually get 3 point boosts. It's not just 1 point boost.
You have the possibility of getting 5.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
RNG.
In RNG, you have...
I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's a possibility to get 5.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, so, I mean...
I feel like it's fairly long, but then again, like if you have a shit ton of money, you can just, and then you're a crafter or whatever, so you can just buy all the materia up, or you can just keep crafting things for scripts over and over. And then, I mean, the thing is though, is that ESO will always be the limiting factor. Because you have to buy that one item through ESO. You can't get it any other way, and so that will be the limiting factor here.
I sort of feel like if they add another relic progression step in 3.35, that maybe this is okay. But I don't think they will, because if they did that, that would boost the relic eye level too high.
What does this relic get upgraded to?
That's a good question. Nika, what do we... What?
I can look at my quest.
Yeah, check your quest log.
It says that the sword is 240.
240.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're not getting an upgrade.
It's not going to happen.
Well, you don't necessarily know that, because isn't the Alexander 8 weapon 245? Why couldn't they match the relic to 245?
Because they said that they want the raid weapons to outclass every other weapon by 5 high levels.
But I feel like the relic weapon should be outclass everything by 5 high levels.
I don't just feel. Well,
I
don't.
I feel like putting it on par with the raid weapons at the 0.5 patch, maybe not at the point like the first original patch, but the 0.5 patch.
I don't disagree with you at all, but I mean that's what Square Enix said, that they want it to always outclass by 5 high levels. I mean, they even went back and retroactively did that to the weapons that came out of
the I-90 was.
Yeah. So, like I would say that there's probably a good chance that this is it until 3.4. If that's the case, I feel like I'm going to blow through this without even blinking.
I'm not even gonna bother like really touching it. Just like get it casually and not even care.
Yeah.
Because there's just so many things and so many paths I can take that I'm just like, just give me one path that I can grind like bear asses and just kill the bears, collect their asses, and then turn them in for points. And
Just
then that's
do
the only way.
if you're doing your roulettes, that's all you need to do.
That's so many roulettes though. I don't have
No,
time
it
for
is,
that.
but that's why.
Yeah, but
but
look
that's
how-
the thing is that if all you're doing is roulettes, it is going to be a long grind.
Yeah.
But if you supplement it with the other stuff, you can do it faster. I think that it's smart what they did.
Yeah, and a lot of the shit you can buy off the auction house because they did. I mean, the fact that it has value now is proof enough of that. Like whether it's the materia, whether it's the elegant catalysts, you got to combine those with Mackay farthings, and that takes some upgrade items out of the mix for you. Because now you actually have to turn in not just the coin that drops out of the Weeping City of Mackay, but also the Mackay farthing. To get the upgrade items from 230 to 240 for your gears.
Yeah. So, and the thing is, though, is that now that they've unlocked Void Arc, I mean, you can get as many farthings as you want, as many Void Arcs as you're willing to do.
Right.
So I figure if you do 3 Void Arcs a week, you use one of them on your armor upgrade and then 2 on the relic thing.
Or you just stack 10 of the bitches before the patch because you didn't need them and forget that they were in your inventory, and now you're all set. I'm all set. I don't need to do Void Arc for a while.
Hey, I had
You have 10 farthings sitting in your
I think
inventory.
I
I
do.
think I had 2 farthings. Yeah, I had 2 farthings. I used one on an upgrade, and I still have one.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I do think that this step is a little bit weak.
I feel
don't know.
I feel like they're catering to casuals
I do.
too much.
Okay, but compare it to the last stat upgrade relic from the original relic, where you actually had to buy materia and they could blow up, and you could spend 8 million gil on one piece.
Okay,
one
well,
stat upgrade. That was shit and horrible and stupid, and this is a 10,000 bajillion point better upgrade than that.
That was your choice. I was completely happy with a 3-statter that cost me maybe 3-4 mil.
You know.
You're terrible.
Yeah. But here I am saying
I did that at first, and I went back and fixed it. I fixed my badness. I fixed my mistake. So yeah, no, I do feel like the anima is a little bit light. Overall, I mean, all of the steps have been
Light.
comparative.
But I mean, what did you want? What would you have wanted out of a stat
God,
upgrade
here we
patch? I mean, did you want just a bit like the grind to be longer, so maybe like less options? Or
I'm going to say it again. I want the grind to be available right from
Well, we know
3.0
that,
or 4.0.
we know that that's not
But
going
we
to
can't do that now.
So this
Right.
step, how would you have wanted it to have gone out? Would you rather have like the same? Because I actually really like the system. It's way better than buying material. and
No,
having
the
it
system's
flow.
fine. The
You
system
just
is
want
fine.
the grind to be longer.
I think that it double the turn-in items. So instead of 5, 5. What is it? Lore items? Not lore
The
items.
only time Skuro is a positive force in anything is in his HIV test.
Damn.
Holy shit!
That was
That came
so
out of
unwarranted.
that
Where
field.
did that come from?
That was unbelievably Cold War swine. That was
Did-
great.
yeah.
The door.
Are they
That was
arguing
awesome.
or something?
That was awesome.
Jesus!
That was great.
Oh, shots fired.
That may have won the day.
Yeah, wow.
Damn.
What were we talking about?
I need to get back on track there. Yeah, no, I would have doubled the turn-in items. I would have, instead of 5 items to turn in from not lore, but the other tomes, the old tomes that nobody cares about. Because those are 50 tomes a pop. You can get the first 4 steps if you've got capped, not ESOs. What is it? Not
Poetics?
Poetics. Thank you.
Yeah, I didn't even realize that poetics were a thing. Stern comes to me today and he's like, yeah. And I was like, how did you get so much more than me? He's like, oh, I just took my poetics because they were capped and I just got like a bunch of those.
Yeah, the enchanted.
What?
Yeah, the enchanted ink and what's the other one?
Thavnarian Mist.
That's it. Thavnarian Mist. They're only about 40 or 50 tomes
One's 50,
a pop.
one's 40. Yeah.
That's it.
And so if you had capped poetics, you can get 4 full turn-ins of those.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what I did. And I'll tell you what, if it were 10 a pop, I think that would be fair instead of 5.
It's so hard to get poetics nowadays, though, I feel.
Yeah, you got to kind of go out of your way to get them. It was kind of a pain in the ass in the last relic step, but The grind should at least be long enough to get us through till 3.4.
No, that's true.
Most of us, I think a lot of us are going to be done by 3.35. I don't think it's going to be long enough to even last to then. I mean,
when's 3.5 coming out?
You mean 3.35?
3.5. Yeah.
We don't know yet. I mean,
it's gonna be like
6 weeks.
Could probably guess
4 to
late
6
July-ish.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess late July.
I mean, it should be about a month and a half.
Yeah.
It's usually about 6 weeks.
Okay.
That's usually the timetable we're looking at.
I'll have this done by then.
Right? Like, I mean, like, I'm like 5 or 6 steps into mine, and I'm not even
Yeah, I've got
trying.
like 21 points in one already.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm not even trying.
But then again, that's because we had already stacked up all of our shit because there was no other reason to use it. So it's literally just been capped forever. But I feel like now that we actually have to do roulettes to get it, it's going to feel a little bit harder.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
It will be a little more grindy, yeah. Because right now you're just
Because
depleting
like
the
all
reserves.
of us were like, I've had capped ESO and capped poetics for weeks. So like I have not been doing roulettes because I have no reason to use tomes. Now I do. So it's going to feel a little different.
Yeah, that's fair, I guess.
I mean, I guess we'll see. We'll see how it ends up progressing. I just feel like really like out of the gate that it
seems underwhelming.
Yeah, it's underwhelming.
It'll be interesting. Like if we revisit this in 2 weeks, it'll be interesting where everyone's at.
Yeah, absolutely.
Evan in our chat says some JP players have already finished.
I believe it.
Yeah, of
Not
course. The
surprised.
JP.
And that's there's no gate on this. There's no
I mean,
gate
that's true.
whatsoever.
Yeah.
And so if you want to poop socket, you can poop socket.
Fill them socks
So
with your poop.
If you'd like to give us a call, Limit Break Radio on Skype, 810-515-8715 or limitbreakradio.com/Discord if you've got the Discord app. Sound off on any of the 3.3 content. What did you think about the Weeping City of Macaque? Was it too hard? Was it not hard enough? Let us know about the hardness of Macaque. Also, did you enjoy the PvP design? What do you think of the new PvP mode? Nidhogg, EX Aquapolis. You could sound off on any of that. Again, Limit Break Radio on Skype, 810-515-8715.
And we have a caller who wants to talk about the Atma stuff.
All right.
We have Arthur's on the line.
Hey, what's up, Arthurs? How's it going?
Wow, that took me long enough to wait on the line, man. What's up, guys?
You've been on the line
had
for
to find a right place
9
to come
minutes.
How many relics have you
9
finished?
minutes? Oh,
Not.
yo, how's everybody doing?
Hey, I'll tell you what. Working in radio, 9 minutes is not the longest call time I've seen, or the longest hold time I've seen. Anyway, Arthurs, thank you for calling in, man. How you doing? Thanks for calling Limit Break Radio. I'm assuming you're going to want to talk about the Anima stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk about the Anima stuff. Like, I'm gonna let you guys know, man. This step, by far, I can tell you that this step, not by far, this step is the hardest to grind step. I can tell you that.
Really?
It's the hardest to grind?
Yes.
What
because
makes you say
guys
that?
You guys keep talking about the crystal sand. That crystal sand is non-relevant. The only thing about this quest right now is the 80 Umbrites. Why do I say 80? You guys keep talking about, Yoshida say that there's a chance to get 4 to 5, right? You guys were talking about, it's not that bad, sometimes you can turn into 5 treated crystal sand. Let me tell you what, 4 and 5, and just to let you guys know, there is also +6 if you are that lucky. Basically, save you 1 Umbrite. Is near non-existent. There are people who completed already but have never seen any bonuses. I myself just, I just came back from Japan 1 or 2 days later after the patch, so I'm a little behind, but I'm already like more than half done. I have yet to see a +4, +5. So people out there, I'm gonna let you know, if you want to finish your this relic, you have to brace yourself that you have to grind 80 Umbrites.
Well, of course,
so
you should always plan. You should always plan for the worst case scenario because not everyone has the favor of RNGesus. We know this.
And that's only 21,000 ESOs. That's not a lot.
4,000 ESOs. That's not a lot. That's not a lot.
It really isn't.
But when you compare, like a lot of people on Reddit has been saying, this step is so much more easier than the unidentified item steps. Guess what? It's not, because when you are doing Gordius, you get to do 4 different turns. You get law from the Gordius. You want to take a break, you can do maps. We were talking about how awesome that step is because you can do a lot of things to get it right. Guess what? This step you don't have the luxury of choosing. All you can do is to sit down and grind 24,000 ESOs. And guess what? If you want to talk about grinding, everybody is going to find a way, right? To say, yo, what is the most efficient way? What is the best ESO per minute? Do you know what is the best ESOs per minute right now? Grinding Ato Chemical Research Facility. I don't know if I pronounce it correctly. That is proven plus a stamp on it. That
because the ESO boost that they gave it in this patch, which is great because that's always the one that I get for level 60 roulette.
Yeah, have fun with that.
That's not great though, because we are talking about how easy it is. A lot of people just keep thinking that it is only 24,300 a pop, but think of how many of the dungeon you need to do. Like, I was comparing this to Alexandra. I mean, this is literally the Alexandra step. But the Alexandra step, you at least have a liberty to say, do fates, although the drop rate is abysmal, but you have the liberty to do that. You can hope for your daily, what is that? Daily expert quest that it gives you one free map, right? There's options to getting it, but this time there is literally no option. You really got to sit down and grind. And I can tell you that if you want to grind it, like, okay, some JP are crazy enough to finish already, but it is expected though. But because those people that grinded this fast will finish the day before. Like they finished on Saturday already, but this time they took them Saturday. So I mean, basically you can take that as a consensus and think that this is a little bit harder grind, even for those people who loves to grind. It takes them a little bit more time, and that that multiply exponentially across among different people. Like I myself would think that I would take additional 2 to 3 days. Then I would take.
But like, here's the thing. Here's the thing, though, is that. When you're trying to cram it into a small area of time, when you're trying to grind through to the other side of that, of course the grind is going to be way bad. But, like, this is stuff that people do on a daily basis.
Like, there's so many ways to get ESO.
Right, there's one best way to get ESO.
Right.
Many ways to get ESOs is one thing. The most efficient way to get ESOs is another.
But Arthur, you're talking about a fraction of the community that wants to get it done that fast. I think most people who play this game, if they did it that fast, they would be sitting around for 4 months with nothing to do, waiting for the next patch. So, like, at least the way that I've approached doing content in this game is that I don't need to have this done in 2 or 3 days because there's no real purpose for having it done in 2 or 3 days. So
no, that's not what we're talking about here, though. What we're talking about right now is how people think, regardless of how they think that this step.
What I was talking about was is this step enough to serve us through until the next time we get a relic step? And we don't even know if it's going to be at 3.4 or if it would be indeed at 3.45, which they've pushed the relic steps off onto the 0.5 patches in the past as well. So is it long enough? Is it big enough to get through most people at an average rate grinding between 3.3 and even 3.4? I don't think so. And that
yeah, I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say, and that I think is the crux of the problem. Not how quickly or quickly or slowly people can get through it if they're trying to grind or they're trying to be the most efficient about it, but how quickly or slowly are most people going to make it through this at an average pace, not particularly grinding.
Here is what I think, though. It might be true. It might happen. It might not. But let me just get my thought across. This step should at least, like you say, for people like me who or even more hardcore people, obviously it's not going to last us to say 4.0. Let's just say if the next relic quest comes in 4.0, obviously it's going to last till that. But for people like us at the same time, we are not going to stop at just one relic. You get what I mean? But for people like you say who wants to take their own sweet time, I can guarantee you that it should last you to 2.35. Now here is the problem, though. In 3.35 or whether in 3.38, will there be another quest coming in to bring the relic to 245? We do not know that.
I don't think no.
Take into consideration that Midas normal mode is still out there and not used yet. I mean, I'm not going to say that, due to the pattern in Gordius, they should use the Midas normal mode to come here. But just saying that, the possibility out there that it might happen because this is also the exact same time frame when we get the second raid, get a second raid here this time with Alexander. At the same time, when we get the second coil of Bahamut, that was also, I think, around that time, I forgot, or is it final coil? I forgot, where they introduced the same amount of eye level to the raid weapon when they introduced it 5 levels. It was 5 item level higher.
I believe
it was final coil, right?
Final coil was, I believe, 2.4, and then they brought relics in line to be the same eye level as raid in 2.5.
Yeah.
So there was an entire patch cycle that raid weapons outclassed.
2.5. No, not 2.5. It was 2.38 or 2.48. I forgot. But it was a 0.8 version. I remember very specifically. It was a 0.8 version 1 month before the patch. Before the major patch.
Then I mean that's not that much different. It was a specific patch made for that, and it's sort of a gimme a month before the final patch. I mean, it might as well have been in 3.5 or 2.5.
I forgot. I think I forgot. It was a 0.8. I just know that it was 1 month before. So, I mean, you guys were talking about whether it would last to say 3.4. Maybe there is one more in 3.38. 3.35, I don't know. So it should last you until then. Just saying, it should last you.
But am I crazy though? I could have sworn that Square Enix said that they want raid weapons to outclass all other weapons by 5 eye levels.
They said the same thing in the first coil of Bahamut.
They went back and retroactively adjusted the eye level to make that difference. I can't see them bringing up the Anima to be equal with the eye level.
No, it's the same. They bring They bring Alagan from 90 to 95 because of the relic thing. But 1 or 2 patch later, major raid patch later, they bring the relic weapon back to as strong as the what is that? The final coil, I think. Is it the final coil? Wait, the final coil and the second coil. At the second coil, they reverse that. They keep saying that, we understand that the relic has been, too powerful, too easy to get, so they make 5 item levels higher than relics, but eventually I right now I think I got it right already. 115 was the Nexus when they bring it as strong, as powerful as the second coil of Bahamut. And then in 3.4, your 115 weapon was immediately usable because it was as good as your second coil of Bahamut. And then in the final coil of Bahamut, they bring the Zodiac to be as strong as the final coil of Bahamut weapon. So this time there's a chance that it might happen as well. So this grind might last you to... If it happens, of course, like I said, I'm talking about hypothetically.
Right.
If it happens, there is still a grind,
No, I mean, I agree. But it's so highly contingent on Square Enix putting in another step at either 3.35 or 3.38. And I mean, that's just not something that I'd be willing to bet the farm on at this point.
I would guess 3.4.
That's what I would guess too. And
although I would bet Ascalia on that.
Well, fair enough. I mean, if you look at the eye level structure of the way that they've rolled out weapons in the past, and you look at the fact that raid weapons have always, at least in the 3.0 cycle, have been 5 item levels higher than the relics definitively, then I think that's going to be a pattern that they would. No,
not Gordius. Not Gordius.
Are you sure?
Yeah, Gordius was 210.
Okay. I mean, it's just it would be weird to have raid weapons and Anima weapons at exactly the same eye level when they've stated several times that that's not what they want to do. That they want raid weapons to
what they want to do.
No, they just didn't want it to be immediately when it comes out, but eventually they want to make. They say
that's what I'm saying. Like at 3.4, 3.5 at that area, I just see it 3.35 or 3.38 being too early to pull the trigger on that catch up.
Yeah, probably, because I mean, if you think about the last relic was never the best until the final stage.
Right.
Then all of a sudden they got major stat boosts. It was the same eye level as everything else, yet the stats were still way higher.
3.4 should be the last phase of Alexander, right? We should see that then?
Yeah. 3.4 should be the...
So if we're planning on another eye level jump there, they might bring it up in 3.35. And then in the half patch, you're going to get your next level of your relic, or of your.
That's what I predict. I predict though, because I mean, I'm just talking about the previous steps. You know, the previous relic. They like to do. They seems to like to do relics like 1 month before the raid patch. They make it as strong as the the raid weapons, so that even those people who doesn't do the raid is still able to, although they only have it for 1 month, it is definitely going to be best in slot if it gets to the same eye level as the Midas weapon, because it is fully customizable now. So they used to do that in second coil and final coil. Now we are just about going, just right about the same timing. Where they pull the trigger on giving the highest eye level, same as the raid weapon. So I'm just saying that it might happen. So this grind for the people that you were mentioning, those that like to take their time, it should last till then. It should.
Yeah, like I say, I think this raid weapon's been top tier since 3.2. So I think 3.35 would probably be an okay point for them to bring the raid weapon up to the match it.
Or
then with 3.4,
I don't,
or 3.8.
I don't hold out a whole lot of hope for that.
Me neither.
I hope. I myself hope it doesn't though. This step scared the shit out of me, man. When I thought about I can only do chemical facility.
Well, no, you can do other things.
Oh my god! Right now, I'm like, I'm so tilted right now, man. I'm still like,
chemical research facility is the best way. But you can do other things for the sake of your sanity. Yeah. So you can look yourself in the mirror and not want to scream.
Oh, I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure.
Okay, well, just because the best way isn't very good doesn't mean all the other ways don't exist. Like, there's other ways are still good. They may not be the best way, but if the best way isn't that good, then do the other ways.
Yeah, I mean, like, I felt the same way about face rolling Garuda hard over and over and over and over again. And I was like, well, but there's other shit that I can do. Right. You know what I mean? Like, and that made it not as bad.
It may be faster to do a theochemical, but if you have a mental breakdown 4 days into that, that's going to really slow you down.
Yeah, it will. It will.
But
it takes forever to get out of those asylums once you go in.
Oh my god.
But it's still dungeons though. What about the eye identify items that was so perfect? We can do so much more variety, like literally everything else. So this time is really just titled dungeon. I mean, people can say, yeah, you can do the Vanu 45 a day. Oh my god.
Have you thought about doing some PvP?
Well,
I try to, but I don't want to be, like being called a scrub because I'm not confident.
It's but the new one has 72 people, and no one's paying attention.
Yeah, no one realized you're there. It's cool.
Wait,
Everyone's
70?
just there for the ESOs. Nobody is. Anyone who's actually competing at that shit is in Wolves Den, so I wouldn't even worry about it.
Yeah, just go hang out in the 72 man and get some ESOs. It'll be real casual. You're gonna feel great about yourself.
Is that sarcasm?
Glory.
So, Arthurs, thank you so much for calling in today, man. We appreciate your perspective on the Anima grind, my friend.
Yeah, sure, man. Anytime, man.
Check him out, twitch.tv/Arthurs, now partnered channel. You should go check out and subscribe to him. Do it. Twitch.tv/Arthurs.
What the fuck was that?
What?
I don't know. It was I don't know.
It's only weird if you make it weird. It's only...